Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Eddie. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I calculate offers on wholesale deals. Most people get into wholesaling, and the reason they fail, it's not marketing, it's not talking to sellers, it's how they run their numbers on their deals and their offers. Um, a lot of wholesalers, they run their numbers way too high, they're way too inflated, and what ends up happening, they lock up a contract that they can't sell, and then they end up screwing over the homeowner, tying them up in something that they are technically bound by because a contract is legally binding. So it's very unethical. You need to train yourself. You need to learn how to run numbers. You need to learn how to be honest. That way you can avoid all the bad stuff that can happen from locking up a deal too high. So let's get into this. Let me make sure my screen is showing. Cool. Okay. So who am I? I'm Eddie Castillo. I'm a real estate wholesaler based out of Phoenix, Arizona. I'm 23 years old, and I'm doing about 20 to 30K a month in revenue right now. Why should you listen to me? I've been doing this for about 8 months now, and I have great mentors. I've closed several deals at this point. I think I've done just under $150,000 in revenue. So I know a thing or two, but I don't claim to be an expert. I just like to document what I've done. Like my mentor, Christopher Gallego, says, big proof guy. I only talk about what I've done, not what I'm doing or what I might do. That being said, let's get into it. So underwriting 101, you guys are going to hear a lot of terms thrown around like MAO, ARV, mechanicals. MAO, so it's just an abbreviation for max allowable offer. This is the most you can offer a homeowner to make a profit and to also, ensure that the deal actually gets done. So anything above that, it doesn't make sense. Then you have your ARV. So this is just your after repair value. All that an ARV is what the property is worth fully renovated, the value. So if you have a property that's fully updated, fully renovated, and you can sell it on the market for 260, that's your ARV 260. Simple. Mechanicals, all that refers to typically is, major ticket stuff of the house, like the roof, the AC, the electrical, plumbing, foundation, etc. Cool. Formula. So everybody knows the formula. Let's see if I can type it out here. Let me do this. Everybody knows this formula for the most part. Oh, now it wants to be weird. Okay. Can I type it? There we go. ARV times 70%. Excuse me. Times 70% minus repairs minus assignment fee. So people, in the wholesaling community, they know this formula. It's kind of like tried and true for the most part. It's a good starting point. It's not always going to be the case. Sometimes people will pay more, investors will pay more, but it's a good starting point. And there's also this pretty cool tool. It's called the Wholesaler School Rehab Calculator. So you can enter all the information from your subject property, put it in here, and it'll calculate the rehab cost for you. It's accurate for the most part, but I want to teach you guys how to get really good and quick at comping manually, especially when you're on the phone with the seller. You want to be able to like get at least an idea of what the property is worth. That way you can make the offer right then and there instead of having to call them back. And, there's a famous saying, it's time kills all deals. So the longer that you wait to make the offer, especially from your initial call to making the offer and actually getting the contract, the likelihood that you get the contract goes down because sellers, there's just a lot that can happen in between then. Sellers being doubtful, not trusting you, changing their mind. Anyways, cool. Let's go back here. So comps, what's a comp? A comp is just a short abbreviation for the word comparable. It's just properties that are similar to ours, similar bed, bath, square footage that we're going to compare our subject property to so we can get the value and understand what ours is worth. Excuse me. So I'm going to start with an example with you guys. So I do deals in Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, Tulsa. Damn, my hair looks crazy. Um, I do a lot of deals there. It's a great market. It's like steady. Appreciation is good, but it's not like Phoenix where the competition is just insane and you have to spend so much money to get a deal. So I love Oklahoma. So here's an example, right? We have this property here. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath, 750 square feet. I always look at these 3 specs immediately. This is going to tell us a lot, like 90% of what we need to know. I don't ever use the Zillow, the Zestimate, because it's just an algorithm number. Don't pay attention to it. Then I'm looking at our year built and the square foot of the lot, or the size of the lot, excuse me. So these 5 things, so bed, bath, square footage, the year built, and then the square footage of the lot, it's going to tell us a lot and it's going to help us out. So what I'll do is copy and paste this, open it in a new tab. I don't know why you guys can't see me right now. Let me go back here. Okay, cool. So I have one tab with our subject property, and then I have the other, same thing. I copied it. I'm going to click out of here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, guys. So bear with me for a second. Don't pay attention to Zillow, pay attention to me. You're going to want to always stay within half a mile of your subject property if possible. The closer proximity, the better, because as you start switching neighborhoods and going into different neighborhoods, especially in major metros where it's very dense and there's a lot of people, a lot of houses, the farther away you get from the subject property, the less accurate your ARV is going to be because, I mean, different neighborhoods sell for different things, right? So I never cross highways. I'm not going to look at properties on this side of the highway. I don't ever cross rivers, nothing like that. So we want to zoom in to where our subject property is. So we're going to go to sold. We're going to zoom out a little bit because we don't have too many data points. I have the filter sold in the last 6 months. You can go up to a year. I don't recommend it because what something sold for a year ago is probably not what it would sell for in today's market. The market changes pretty quickly, pretty frequently. It's not going to change necessarily overnight unless something like COVID occurs, but it changes every few months for sure, especially seasons, right? You're going to get a lot of action in the spring and the summer, especially in markets that are colder, because people want to move, like when it's warmer, good weather. But if it's winter and it's 0 degrees, like you're probably going to have less activity. Anyways, so I'm looking for a 2-1, 750 square feet. So we have a 3-1, 1,000 square feet. Not a great comp. So I'm not really going to look. I'm going to keep looking. We have one down here for 86K, 750 square feet, 2-1. Okay. It doesn't look like it's finished completely. It looks like they were maybe, halfway through a remodel. It has window units as the AC. Doesn't look terrible, but I mean, the windows look messed up. It's probably not fully renovated. Let's look at the description. Yeah, it doesn't really have a description. So, I mean, I mean, it's a decent comp. Not great, though. It doesn't look finished. It looks like someone was maybe remodeling it and they just wanted to be done with it. So, but we'll keep it in the back of our head. Newer build than ours, bigger lot. I don't want to zoom out too much. See, like these are way bigger homes. So we can't use those. So we'll zoom back in. Our subject property is somewhere in here. What I'll do when I don't have a lot of data is I'll go to for sale. Let me move this. And I will zoom out. And then I will come in here and I will do pending and under contract. All that means, if something is under contract or pending, all that means is somebody's in the process of buying it. Look at this. Look at this one right here. 2-1, 760 square feet. It's under contract. It's pending for 129,700. The lot's bigger than ours. The year built, I think, is 7 years newer than ours, but it's still pretty old, built in 1928. Square footage is really good. So this is a great comp, guys. So if we click the photos, we can see that they did a good job. It's not like a super high-end flip, but in a market like this where property values are 100, 150K, you don't need to ball out. It's not like you're in Los Angeles or Miami where people want the most high-end finishes. So this is a great comp. This is actually a really, really good comp. So it's pending. Siding looks nice on the house. This was probably a flipper. So already in my mind, I'm like, okay, our ARV, our lot's a little, smaller. Ours is built in 1921. So I probably have our ARV to be conservative to compete with this one. Let's call it 110. And that's pretty conservative, I'd say. So let's say, and this is what we're going to go ahead and do. Can I pull up my calculator here? Let's actually pull it up right here. I don't know why Loom is being like this, dude. It's being so slow. Okay. Guys, so remember, I told you about this formula right here. ARV times 70% minus repairs minus your assignment fee. This is how you make money. We're going to use that same formula. So our ARV on the property is 110,000. We're going to multiply that by 70%. That gives us 77K minus our repair. So let's say the seller, tells you that it needs paint, flooring, and then you use the rehab calculator and you get like to 20K. So you subtract 20K, brings you down to 57K. And let's say you're like, I want to make 10 grand on the deal. Your assignment fee, you want it to be 10 grand. You then subtract 10K. Boom. Now you have what I'd call your MAO, your max allowable offer. So let's come back here. So our max allowable offer is 47K on that property. I would even start a little bit below that. That way you have some wiggle room to negotiate. If you start at 47K with the seller, chances are they're going to be like, that's way too low, but I can do 60. But at 60, you can't make any money because you cannot sell the deal anymore because it's priced too high. So I'd start at like 35, 40. That's the offer I'd start at, and just always deliver your offer confidently, especially if you've ran your numbers. And don't be afraid of the seller cussing you out. Don't be afraid of them getting upset. You can always bring yourself back into the sale. If you offer, let's run through a role play. I'm like, hey, Mr. Seller, my team ran their numbers and they came back with an offer to pay all the closing costs. There's no realtor commissions involved, and we're purchasing this completely as is, so you don't have to make any repairs. And the offer that they landed at was $39,750. Boom, just shut up. Let them hear that. Let them, absorb that. And then if they're like, oh no, that's way too fucking low. Like, why are you wasting my time? Hey, and I'm on your side here. I figured that, that probably wouldn't make you the happiest. I mean, where would you need to be for this to make sense? And then you just negotiate, bro. But that's a video for another time. This video was just to show you guys how I run my numbers, how I think about it. I guess I think I went through most of everything. So I'll run back one more time in case you guys kind of like I lost you. I'm looking at these three, and then I'm looking at these. It's not the end all be all, but it's about 90%, and it's going to help you guys comp and come up with your offer. Now there's some stuff like in certain markets where the home might be brick or it might be frame, stick, metal. That does matter. Like if you comp a brick house versus a stick house, brick for whatever reason, don't ask me why, is typically valued more, and it typically increases the value of a property versus if a house is frame or stick or block. But I gave you guys the fundamentals. It's going to get you 90% of the way there. The rest is just up to you to decipher and also just get the reps in. Get the reps in. If you guys have questions about underwriting, if you need help looking at a deal, if you have a deal and you need help offloading it in any market, I have plenty of buyers. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. But that's all I got for you today. I hope this provides some value. Again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments. If you want to connect with me, I'm on Instagram, eddiecastillo.0. And I'll see you guys in the next one.